On this episode of DC On Screen, we are talking about Black Lightning Season 3, right after this uncontrollable mystery sponsor. Welcome into DC On Screen episode 590. I'm David C. Robertson. This is my trusty co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
This podcast, where we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we kind of don't want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers. Welcome to the show. Hey, man.
Hey.
Do you remember this season?
Mostly.
Is you just finished it, and it's been a few weeks for me.
Yeah,
And
it's been a long haul. There's a lot of pauses.
And then as I was like looking over some like recap material, I was like, I don't remember a lot of this. Like, and not like I remember like the overarching like what happened to most of the characters, I think.
Mhm.
But man, it was convoluted
Yeah, a little bit.
with the Markovians and the virus and
Yeah, it seemed to speed up toward the last half. It seemed to get, I don't know, more congealed, I guess, in the last half. It seemed like I was following one very specific story there for a while.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue with this season is that it was broken up so ardently, because for a 16 episode season,
Mm-hmm.
like for me, the disconnect I think happened in the episode with, and it's the worst episode of the season, by the way, the crisis tie-in where Jennifer is talking or seeing the two different versions of herself from Earth 1 and Earth 2. And then that kind of just ends with like them getting eradicated and Jefferson being teleported away for a crisis on Infinite Earths. So I don't know. I think I would have just rather them had like a normal episode where like at the end, like they're like, hey, why is the sky red? And then Jefferson's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that everyone died before that happened, but still.
Yeah. But it's like it's like a month or so for us in between that and when we pick back up.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where like when I think of season 3, I just think of the last half at this point.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
a lot of stuff happened though, before and after. I think my favorite episode is like before the break though, where Henderson gets Jefferson to go to their old teacher's apartment complex, and she's like dealing weed and shit out of there and refuses to leave.
Oh yeah, that was a fun bit.
And that was like the moment where Jefferson was like, nope, we're not doing this anymore, ASA.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I love as we open the show, as we open the series or the season, I should say. I'm trying not to be British. I love that they are in voluntary lockdown with the ASA, and I love the humility of Jefferson and Lynn, and really of the Pierce family, even though the girls really struggle with that. I love that Jefferson is willing to work within this rigid, untrustworthy system until the system just becomes untenable. Like when he realizes like, oh no, they're screwing over. They really are for real screwing people over. They're not doing, somewhat questionable things for a good reason. Nope. This is just straight up wrong.
Yeah. Well, it fits him though. I mean, he was a principal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Kind of that's the whole thing. Being a principal, I feel like, is you're working in a system that is a little off from time to time, more like either corrupt or maybe just mismanaged or whatever. Like that, there's not a 100% efficient school system in any country that I know of. There's always something, and it makes sense for him to transfer that. But I like that he does bounce out when he sees it finally gets too fucked up for him.
Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, I think patience is maybe even more than his powers Jefferson's greatest gift. I really like that about him.
Because his like moral compass it's pretty good. I
would have just started blasting away, dude. Like way sooner.
Yeah,
like
it would occur to me.
But I still think he even wanted to trust Odell. Like he thought that I think he was trying to see the best in Odell and the ASA.
Well, wouldn't you want to, though? Like, imagine somebody came along that was that powerful, and they seemed to look gray. Mm-hmm. Do you want to just fight him immediately? Which would be an instinct, for sure, and I could get behind it for certain reasons. But if you could adopt that kind of power and use it for the right reasons, fuck yeah. Yeah, that feels like a very Jefferson kind of move.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he wanted to at least hope that they were doing the wrong thing for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Just like how he sees the best in his students, how he sees the best in his children when he's like, oh, y'all have killed so many people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no stranger to moral ambiguity.
Oh, baby girl, stop killing folk.
You gotta not do that.
And then, like, plus that ASA suit was dope. It was like, here's a little, that is a really cool suit. Sorry, Gamby.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
I like my little nanotech Iron Man suit.
And I like the Odell actor. Still cracks me up.
Yeah, he's great.
But the reason I like him is he speaks with such power and confidence, and he looks like a guy that might die tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just has that, like, you ever see like an old beagle?
Yes.
With the droopy eyes kind of thing going on?
Uh-huh.
He very much has that persona to me, like just an old wise dog. But he just seems to be so damn prescient and present, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, he's
not getting anything droopy past this old dog kind of deal.
Yeah, he's like a malevolent droopy.
Yeah. What's that blue dog from the old cartoons?
I don't know. I just remember the little white dog, Droopy.
That works too.
I'm torn with Anissa because you know what? I am still not crazy about the actress, even though she does a good job. There's something just off for me about her performance, like all the time, and I don't know what it is exactly.
No, for me, it's always been the writing. With her.
Really?
Like, I've never had really a problem with her performance as much as I have had her direction.
Because I loved her direction here in this season.
Yeah, this season I felt like she had a lot to do. It's really in the first couple seasons where she was just kind of flailing because they would write her as very aware and very on board, and then they would write her as petulant in the next scene. And I just the flip-flopping.
Well, part of that might be age.
Yeah, part of that I get.
They can throw it in. She's young.
Yeah, she's like 17. I get that.
And you know what? It's really annoying to like try to do the right thing and then always have like, your high school principal dad standing over your shoulder being like, that shit ain't right. Damn it, Dad.
Oh, I'd hate it. I would hate it. Like, I don't envy her position at all. And there's some relatability to her flip-floppiness. It's one of the reasons I've never completely written her off, I guess. That makes sense to me in a way, but also kind of wanted her to find some direction. I feel like she finally did.
Sort of, but so I feel like every time Anissa stops being Blackbird and starts being Thunder, I feel like she's back where she belongs, and I think that's what the writers want us to feel. I'm not saying that that's what needs to happen, but because what's interesting is that they paint Thunder as sort of more of a straight-laced symbol of hope working within the system, specifically her father's system, and Blackbird as more of a Malcolm X by any means necessary persona. And also, I love that Anissa feels like compelled to keep those two personas separate. Like even she knows, like, I can't be doing Blackbird shit if I'm being Thunder,
which is true. I respect.
Yeah, totally. And I really like. I'm I'm a little impressed that they kind of brought those snide Harriet Tubman jokes from season 1 to come full circle here, because she's literally leading an underground railroad of metahumans to freedom. I think that's neat. That was a really cool thing. And I like what Grace and Anissa bring out in each other. I like how Anissa has grown. I like what Grace brings out in Anissa, because I don't feel like Grace is that much of a character on her own yet. She seems to be like the single person embodiment of the metas. Like she's the downtrodden metas for us, like incarnate. And we get to see Anissa's heart and her mission through her treatment of Grace, which I feel like grounds that Underground Railroad mission.
Yeah.
Because without the Grace element, I'd be like, I'm kind of struggling. Other than just doing what she thinks is right, I'm kind of struggling where her heart is in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. You can see where she wants to do the right thing and where her and Jefferson are kind of on the same page, but she wants to go in a different direction. It's cracked me up because she's essentially being an outsider, which guess what? Black Lightning.
Right.
That I get where she's coming from, but some of the stuff where she's just obstinately doesn't want to participate with other people. Again, it's just age.
Yeah, and I do think it's funny though that at the end of the day, Black Lightning winds up going to help Blackbird and Henderson do this the very thing that Blackbird was trying to get away from her dad to do. Like I liked all of that.
Yeah, that was a nice come around.
That was all fantastic. And
also, like you said, I do like Grace, and I do like that she's a little bit amorphous, but she's a morph. That kind of makes sense to me. Like, if I could change into any shape, I would have trouble with my identity as well.
Yeah, though that might be a clever excuse for the writers to get away with not making her a full-fledged character yet.
Well, yes and no. I mean, in the same way that they're...
When would you have time in this season to make her a full-fledged character?
You wouldn't. You wouldn't, and make it still make sense and make some actual stuff happen, like some season arcs. It does, like, I like her as a character. I like the actress. I like those two together.
Yeah.
I like that she's incorporated into the family in the last few episodes in a way that feels very, very, very real. It was rewarding, but I do still like that there's a little bit there to take up next season with her.
Yeah,
she was one of the payoffs that I've enjoyed.
She's in a coma now, and it's because Gravedigger said fight each other and to the death or whatever. And
yeah,
I guess it's Anissa's fault that she's in the coma.
Yeah, it's the old thing though. Antibody ain't dead.
Oh yeah, no. And that's also for Jamila Olsen. I love that she got shot at the last bit where she was doing the report and some dude just runs up and shoots her.
Yeah,
and that was gut wrenching, weird. But we didn't see her die, so I assume she's still alive in some
Here's
way.
holding hope.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, they could just kill her.
Yeah,
we'll never see her again and be like, oh well, that sucks for her.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's the end of the arc. That's it.
Well, we got somewhere.
But yeah, Jennifer goes through a very similar thing, where she's working. It's sort of like she's doing what Jefferson's doing, where she's like, okay, to keep the family safe, I'm going to participate. I'm going to do what I need to do. Let's take out these relays or whatever. Let's take out these stations. Whoops, there were a bunch of people in there. I didn't know, but Odell gave me a fancy suit. And Jefferson's like, yeah, I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, I've been there. I get it.
But yeah, the good thing about that Crisis crossover though, that episode, was we do see like Jennifer, like what happens when Jennifer feels herself too much and goes along with the ASA too much and gets seduced by power.
She's
by
fucking
proxy
nightmare.
of shit does not work out.
Yeah, no, she's I think single-handedly the most powerful person in this show.
She might very well be. Yeah,
short of Gravedigger with all of his like Siler abilities combined.
I love the character's capacity to love and trust. I think I really like that. On one hand, she's just gonna go hang out on the roof and smoke some weed and be like, "Y'all are stupid."
Yeah,
and then, but she's still just like, no, Khalil's gonna beat this. He's not Painkiller. Painkiller is a construct that somebody created in his mind.
Yeah,
Khalil is the real person.
It's that, and I'm gonna really quickly. I'm just gonna tell you the two most annoying story arcs that I've seen in the entire show so far. One, the Khalil being some little construct, and Painkiller being some little thing that's trapped in Khalil's mind.
I hated the execution of that.
Boring as hell.
I hate the Mindscape scenes.
Yeah,
I hate them. Yeah.
That concept in general just annoys the shit out of me at this point.
Like, the actor did a really good job playing both.
Oh yeah, and he did a great job.
I enjoyed seeing them like fight each other.
That was the part that surprised me.
Stuff.
Was when they actually fought. I was really on board. I thought it was great. Whoever's the body double playing along with him, fantastic.
But like, it's weird and it's janky for me. Like, I don't like them like incepting him and going in there and locking him in a closet and then that's all keep seeing.
So boring for me.
Yeah, me too, man. I hated it.
It could just be from where I come from. Like I don't know, man. I've gotten bored with that kind of stuff.
But let me just say though, I guess we don't have like, he says he is Khalil right before he shoots Odell.
Yeah.
And man, I wish he had killed Odell. God, that would have just been such a badass turn.
As Khalil killed Odell.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sorry.
Well, I like the idea that he just shot him through the spleen just to give the character a glimmer of hope. Like, oh, he's a badass, but But man, I wanted Khalil as like the Punisher. I wanted like Khalil and Painkiller to merge into a force for good, and I wanted him to go for Tobias next. That's what I wanted. And he might still very well be that.
There's a painkiller in the back of his head just kind of shouting instructions, and sometimes he's like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a good call. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
Odell needs
I think
to go
that
down.
actor can, that actor's, man.
He's definitely capable.
He's absolutely capable. Like, they did a couple of scenes in the Mindscape episode where he's like confronting the fact that he killed his own mother. And he did a really good job with it.
Oh, yeah.
I was super impressed with that job.
That part of the Mindscape, I had some emotional payoff, and I enjoyed that. It could have been done. It could have been done differently, and that actor could have done it differently.
I agree.
It would have been just as powerful. It's just that I don't like the premise of the Mindscape thing, as you're calling it.
Yeah. Can I guess the other thing that you hated this season?
You don't even have to guess. You can just state it.
Lynn being addicted to green
yes,
light. I hated
exactly
it too.
There was a 0% chance you were going to guess that wrong.
I get that she's taking it to enhance her own abilities so she can find this cure, but I get that they basically brainwashed her into doing it. It's just, I'm so bored by addiction episodes, especially CW versions of addiction.
That's one of the problems. The CW can't do a proper addiction episode. And I don't care how much green Adderall that bitch takes. It is not going to actually make a real problem for me. It's just...
She was looking rough. It was a few steps beyond Laurel and her baby Tylenol.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Because they made up a drug so they could make her look worse on it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure there's a restriction. I'd have to look it up to be sure. But I'd have to call people and pretend I was someone different to actually find the answer to this. But I'll bet you there's a restriction where if you say you're using a real street drug, an actual thing that's not fictional, you can only show so much. And if you make a fake one, you can show a little bit more. I'll bet you that's a real thing.
Oh, absolutely. I bet that is.
And in this case, yeah, she has a real problem. She definitely does. Like some of the bits of her struggle with that did kind of make sense to me. Like when she's at the dinner table and they're all saying like, look, this is a family matter and all that. Like when she supposedly throws away the last of the stashes she has and all that shit. That's fine. But even then, that was finally a rewarding moment in a storyline that I was just annoyed by. Mm-hmm. Where Lynn has constantly had the problem of great actress, nothing to do with her. Like what they're giving her, she does great with. They never give her enough. Like the one thing they did a callback on that I really enjoyed was one of the times when I've been like, yeah, get it, was when she just shot a dude when they were in that like hostile situation in, what is it, season 1? Yeah. She just shotguns a motherfucker.
Yo, yeah. Which, dude, I loved every moment of Lynn with Tobias.
Lynn with Tobias was pretty good. That was the height, I think, of Lynn.
She held her own with him.
Yeah.
She was actually a badass. She like anticipated what bullshit he was gonna. Oh, it was good. And he's, he gives as good as he gets, if not more. He's fantastic.
No, he's maniacal and a lot of fun. And he's one of the things that I felt like we could have had a lot of payoff with this season that didn't necessarily happen.
Oh, I don't know. I think he was.
He's still out there for next season. And that's fine.
Absolutely. But I think we got him the perfect amount. Like,
yeah, I can roll with that too.
He's just there, kind of like plotting and planning in the background.
Or maybe like Lala. Lala. Actually, that's a good point. They've both had great arcs. I really enjoy both of those actors.
Yeah.
And Lala had a great arc this season. Like him and Jefferson's little nod on the street when they were both like just protecting shut down fucking Freeland.
Oh, it was Henderson.
Henderson. Sorry. Who the fuck did I say?
Jefferson.
Jesus. Him and Henderson. Him and Henderson's little thing in the street was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved everything we got with Bill Henderson this year. I loved him, acting like he wasn't part of the resistance. He was just a cop doing his job.
Yeah.
He's really part of the resistance. Loved Lala and Henderson coming along that. Oh my God, that was so great.
There's a lot.
So great.
It will kind of be fun to get back to the show post Markovia.
Mm-hmm. I hate Markovia, and that's not just here. I hate Markovia in the comics. I hate it in Young Justice. I've hated Markovia every time I've ever heard
Young
of it.
Justice is the most I've ever liked it, but otherwise it can be a little boring. Yeah.
It's so boring.
I agree.
I have never met a version of Geoforce that I like.
Young Justice is as close as it's going to get, buddy.
He's like basically good Geomancer. I just don't like him.
I understand. I get it.
He's usually played about as well too. Like, and we'll get to him. I don't want to skip over Bill Henderson here because
that death scene.
That death scene, man. I ain't ready to go, man. Oh,
that hurt,
dude.
I actually had to pause a little bit and kind of feel that.
Like, I watched the show with my wife, and she fell asleep. She fell asleep. It's her least favorite show of all the CW shows. So she gets a little bogged down with it. She fell asleep because it's dense, and she also has a problem laying on the couch and not falling asleep.
Sure.
As many of us do.
An American problem if there ever was one.
But she missed the death scene. I sat there and wept as this thing played. Then when she woke up, she was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I fell asleep." She like watched the ending of the show, and I was sitting there drawing or something. Watched that scene again, cried again.
I get it.
And then, like, as we were talking about later, like, I got choked up.
Like, it's a good line. Delivered very well.
Like, all of it's like, Jefferson saying that he's his best friend, and just all of it was so good. So good. So well done. And it is a little forced. I don't completely feel like the Bill Henderson character got the arc that I was looking for throughout the course of the series.
No, but I
understand the actor's leaving. He just wants to leave.
Which is fine.
He's got another job.
A lot of the season, the wrap of the season in general felt a little forced. So this didn't shock me to see something like that. But goddamn, he had a great outro.
Yeah, he did. He had a really great outro.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Speaking of Tobias, though, that deadly evil piece of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, him finally getting free of the ASA, making that poor woman cook and serve him dinner with a dead husband and a dead son right there in her own house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. He's a miserable son of a bitch.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really bad, but I giggle every time he calls Black Lightning any alliterative and unnecessarily racist thing.
Yeah.
I like alliteration.
It's kind of his thing.
It's just like he's so over the top in a way. But
over the top in a way where we're already familiar with him being over the top. Like in season 1, he was top of the world, man. He was king of Freeland. And then we'd find moments where he was playing chess with himself and really like talking and antagonizing himself effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know there was a painting on the wall. I don't give a fuck. That wasn't what was actually happening.
Right.
That dude's crazy. Right.
Yep.
And yeah, to see him drawn this low and to see him come back up should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but
the one thing I would have missed is the one thing I actually kind of wished I'd seen in the finale. And the one thing I missed is it would have been really fun to see somebody as powerful as Tobias is. And he is. And he's a stable meta in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
To see him brought in to fight Gravedigger would have been a lot of fun.
That would have been fun.
But I'm only wishing. I don't want to hold that against the show. I just think it would have been fun.
Yeah.
Still enjoy what I got.
How did you feel about... How did you feel about Gravedigger? Basically, Wayne Brady as Sylar from Heroes.
Wayne Brady as Sylar, effectively. One of my favorite parts about this is like Wayne Brady is I've only seen his name recently. I mean, God, it feels like it's been 15 years since I've seen his name. And then I'm watching Preacher, and it's like Tom Brady and
Tom
Wayne,
Brady.
Yeah, well, there's some in Preacher. There's some specific formula, and I can't remember the two names. I think it was Tom Brady and so Wayne, or maybe, but I think it amounted to the Wayne Brady shot or something like that. No, maybe it was Wayne Brady and Tom Brady. Anyway, he was name checked as like the perfect good. Or like the perfect in between, whatever it was. No, all right, sorry. Tom Brady was the shot. Wayne Brady was the second name. Tom something was the first name, and I can't remember who. And I think the Wayne Brady was like the exemplar of good, you know?
Okay.
And that is in my lifetime, because I've only really known him from Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's always just been this happy-go-lucky fucker. Like, he's just clever, on his feet, super optimistic, all this stuff. And then I turn around, and he gets name-checked as such on Preacher. Man, I wish I remembered that, but it's been a year and a half, I think, since that aired. And then I see him as Gravedigger. And then this month I see that, like, he's... I see him as Gravedigger, and I think, man, he's actually really good as a villain. That was a pretty good turn. He did a good job.
He is, and by the way, he's responsible for my favorite Jin moment of the season, where he's just going on about how
I sent you this text. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Obama.
Now we had the same feeling.
And Martin Luther King were cowards, and they were ineffectual and all this stuff. And he's like giving her the rant,
Yeah.
And she's like, is this history in Black moment over?
Yeah. Our moment in Black history over?
Yeah. Is this moment in Black history over? So good.
And then, whops him a little bit. Yeah, that was so really good. No, on this show, he had a great character. I enjoyed Gravedigger. Fun name, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good name.
I want to say good concept, but within the context of this show, it was slightly different. It's not like Sylar's unprecedented. It wasn't the first character in the history of comics that ever could accumulate powers. It's just that, man, Sylar was a really good character, and it's kind of become iconic. By the way, anytime somebody can do that, I kind of think, oh, Sylar.
I do want to point out how ironic it is that it was Black Lightning that gave me a character named Gravedigger that made me think of the whitest musician ever.
Oh, who's that?
Because every time they said Gravedigger, I thought of Dave Matthews, Gravedigger.
Oh, shit, you're right.
And I was like, I don't even want to think about this song.
Yeah.
Like, please, don't make me keep thinking of Dave Matthews.
It's been forever since I heard that. I mean, maybe 20 years since I heard that, it feels like. God, it's been a minute. No,
it's been a while.
15 years, I guess.
It's been a while, but like, me and my wife are both like earworming over here, walking around all week talking about Gravedigger, when you dig my grave. Like, damn it.
God, it was like the third album or something.
It was a solo album, Some Devil. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, shit.
It's actually a pretty good album.
Early aughts then, I guess.
I don't know whatever happened to that album. I used to own it, but
it's around there somewhere.
That was a really long time ago. That was like the makeout music, back in the day. That's what the girls that I liked wanted to make out. Yeah, I mean, I would have gone further towards like Nick Drake or I don't know.
I was listening to more like A Perfect Circle and the Underworld soundtrack for makeout music. It was a very different time.
Yeah. Not like, raunchy makeout music, like, romantic makeout music.
Oh, I don't know if I had a tone for that at that time.
Yeah, I didn't.
Just don't know if that was what I had at my disposal.
I didn't have like sex music.
I might run on like Eric Clapton Unplugged or something.
Well, that's not true. I had actual sexy time music that I played, but it was always Al Green.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's fine. That's just fine. That's makeout and or sexy times. Or that's the kind of music you could make out sexy times, or just like hold your 3-month-old while you feed her a bottle kind of thing.
Right.
Whatever. That is just the human experience. It can happen anytime. Al Green can just show up and you'll be like, cool, that'll work.
Look, it came to a point though where it was like I wound up like having Al Green on, and then like she went to the bathroom for a second, and when she comes out, I'm watching Pulp Fiction because they played Al Green, and it just made me want to watch Pulp Fiction.
I get that. We should get back real quick, but similarly, and here's where I've screwed up before. I've been like, yeah, put on whatever you want to, and here's my whole catalog of whatever, or I've put on whatever, and then somebody goes to the bathroom, they come back, and I'm sitting there with the guitar picking out the song, like, hold on, I'm almost got it.
Oh yeah.
That'll ruin the mood too.
I've done that with harmonica.
Like, and here's the funny part: it's different if you've got it already. Like, if while somebody was in the bathroom, you picked out the whole song, that you can maybe work with that. If they would come back and you're still in the lab, no, it's done. It's over. You need to throw that thing.
Well, yeah.
It's neither here nor there.
Anyway. Yeah, I liked Gravedigger though. I liked Wayne Brady. He did a fantastic job.
Quick sidebar with Wayne Brady. And this is where I got back to, this is after I watched this, then I saw a quick little glimpse of a headline somewhere that Wayne Brady was quarantining with his ex-wife and her now husband and or boyfriend. I can't remember.
Oh.
Or boyfriend, I guess. And I kind of thought, nope, that's the Wayne Brady I know. That's the laid back dude that would quarantine with his ex-wife and whoever she's in a relationship with now.
Like, why would you do that, Wayne? Oh, it's fine. We're going to play charades.
I mean, yeah, that part for me feels right. When I saw Gravedigger, here's the thing, watching Gravedigger the whole time, I was really happy with him. I thought they did a pretty good job with the execution. The effects were really pretty solid, except for like 2 moments, but otherwise it looked great. It was played well. I was really surprised to see that Brady could play a villain as well as he did. They had a good story for him. His backstory was actually really compelling. I enjoyed that. The fact that him and Jefferson are connected was pretty sweet.
I didn't like that.
Really, all of this hit for me. It's just that later when somebody was like, oh yeah, Wayne Brady's still a good dude, I was like, oh, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
That's the real talk right there.
I like that he was just jaded and had been like so put upon for generations now. That
like
he
in a
had
show
become
like
a
Black
bad
Lightning,
guy.
how the hell do you not have a character that's just that? Like, yeah, of course. Fucking of course.
But you know, it's also...
Dude's been around for 150 years to see everything black people have gone through. Fucking of course he's pissed.
Absolutely. But you know what? Like, I didn't need that extra little push that he was related to Jefferson, like, at all.
No,
because
I did like it for the mythology of the show that he is the original Maida. That was stable. I like that. I didn't like how they used it when they were talking.
Yeah. It felt a little...
forced.
Yeah. Like a little Shinson and Picard. Little, like, my blood is your blood bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that doesn't mean you're the same. Shut up.
Well, I'll give you a juxtaposition then. One, when they're fighting in the parking lot and throwing each other into street signs. That was a fun moment of like,
sure.
Yeah, you and me are blood. That was kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Later, when the whole thing's literally falling down and Jefferson's like, no, we got to save him. We're kin. We're blood kin, I think he said. It was weird. It was a phrasing that, I don't know, man. It's not my culture, maybe. I just didn't know. I didn't recognize it. It sounded strange to me.
They take great pains to add a weird mysticism to the show. Some of it makes sense, and then some of it doesn't. Like, and it was funny, is like, there's a black guy I know at work, and he was watching it, and he was like, hey, so you know all about the DC stuff? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I like Black Lightning, but why are they like always talking about voodoo and shit? I was like, I don't know. I thought that was like a cultural thing. He's like, I mean, not really. Not here anyway. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
No, generally not here. No, that's not. I mean, like if you were doing the stats on how many white and black people there are that are into voodoo, yeah, you're going to get voodoo on the black side more heavily.
Yeah.
If you just generally asked how many people in the U.S. are into voodoo, it's going to be a very small number.
It sometimes feels like the show is written by a lot of white people who just think black people exist in Louisiana.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, like a lot of the black characters that, even the ones who survived and worked, were effectively written by white people.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make.
I mean,
fun
I'm not
of
talking about the
Black
comics. I'm
Lightning
talking about the show.
Oh, the show in general, yeah. But I'm just saying the history is. Yeah. There's a lot of taking a swing at stuff. You know, some from a good place, some from not. Even the name Black Lightning though is like, yeah, you could be like, I kind of get when somebody says like, why does it have to be Black Lightning? I'm like, well, because lightning's fun by itself, but take away the connotations. The words Black Lightning are just kind of cool together. I don't like, short of any connotation, that's just a cool phrase. And I'm glad the character fucking worked out. And especially in this context where you actually get a ton of context to digest it.
I mean, on his face, you tell a criminal Black Lightning is coming. They're already scared that he's going to be able to see where they jizzed.
That's Black Neon.
Oh,
you may have mixed up your characters.
I just heard Black Light. That's what
black argon or Black Neon is what Black Noble Gas. That's what's gonna fuck you up there.
But yeah, for me, like, okay, you know what I thought, and I can't remember if this is a thing across the board. I'm sure it's not somewhere, and it may be a one-off thing. But you know how like Havoc and Cyclops can't hurt each other because they're brothers.
Oh,
Like their powers don't work against each other.
yeah.
That's what I thought they were.
To it.
Yeah, I thought that's what they were going to be going for with Gravedigger and Black Lightning.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was a real thing here. So I was just like, oh, okay. I thought that was like, because other than that, I'm just like, other than just going down the whole, like, you and me are the same. We have the same blood. I'm like, yeah.
No, I think there's way more evidence that brothers can hurt more in comics, probably.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty sure.
I mean, any of the Summers can fuck each other up at will.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen a panel with like a very sad Scott Summers talking to Alex Summers, saying like, "We've never needed powers to hurt each other before." Like,
which is a fine moment.
All right, let's get to Brandon here. I don't like the kid's acting. I don't like the way they wrote him. I didn't like his. I mean, I understand you gotta have him angry at Dr. Jace and blah blah blah. She killed my mother. But it turned out she didn't. But this kid was always angry, always had an attitude, always squinting and making his face pucker like his like looks like he just ate a lemon, tilting his head back. I just hate that kind of acting so much. He totally went to the Jefferson Jackson School of Acting. Like he's just this,
gotcha.
Like I just hate that so much. Like even when he's like being amiable and talking, he's just like he's got like angry eyebrows, as Capaldi would say on Doctor Who, very cross eyebrows. He's just always like, yeah, I'm a jerk. Yeah. Like I don't know. I didn't like his relationship with Jen. I just didn't care anytime I saw him on screen except to be annoyed by him. And at the end he didn't even get to kill Dr. Jace. It was that other dude.
No, just random military guy. Popser.
He wasn't quite random military guy. He was still that like ASA guy who had been like
I know he has a whole
able to
backstory.
mimic and shit,
it's just
but
that military was sent in to pop her and he just popped her. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it was a dark scene and it was cool and I was happy to see her die. Like really happy to see her die. Like I was really tired of her character.
Fist bumped a little bit.
That's the thing. Like that's the thing I love the most about this season finale is it felt like they wrapped up a ton of stuff that I had been like chomping at the bit for them to wrap up.
Yeah.
It was like just really satisfying.
Yeah, I get that.
Just so many gunshots to that woman.
Yeah, she's straight dead.
Like she had it coming. She has had it coming for quite a while.
Well, speaking of gunshots, and I started with this earlier, I guess, but one of the things that there were 3 things in this that seemed forced to me.
Okay.
Actually, I really enjoyed the shit out of the finale. So don't if I feel like if I didn't say that before, then that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I think they stuck the landing for the most part. Yeah.
For the most part. The only thing was it felt a little bit rushed in times. Like, one, how the hell does Khalil get to that ASA office? Doesn't make sense. How does Black Lightning get there? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I was confused about how fast Jefferson got to, and how he even knew where Odell and Khalil were. Like, it was just
how Khalil did or how Jefferson did. Both. All in both.
Well, I guess Jefferson could have been like scouring the city and like doing his little X-ray vision thing that he has now.
He didn't have time. They were dealing with some shit before.
I don't think they would have had time, but that's how he would have seen. That's just
like maybe Khalil would have. But
yeah.
All right. So there. Another thing is during the Khalil fight, which was fantastic, especially the rope-a-dope line. I always love a rope-a-dope. They had this like blurred visual thing going on at some point, which felt like they just couldn't quite finish the scene to me. I just hadn't seen that effect in the history of Black Lightning before. Like I haven't seen that in the history of the show, and it just felt like they'd literally blurred a shot to make it happen. And I guess it was Mindscape, but I also was just, it took me out a little bit. I just didn't know what they were going for in that moment.
Right.
Just, I don't know, just a weird thing for me. I could be wrong. The other thing though was, and the big one for me, because I enjoyed a lot of it. I especially enjoyed the fight between Jefferson and Gravedigger. And it kind of like whoever's I forget who Gravedigger stole the microwave power from.
Yeah, I don't remember.
When he turns into a microwave and his eyes get black, he can do what I assume a microwave would do to a human being, which is fucking crush their water cells from the inside out. It clearly is bad. And Jefferson is capable of overcoming it, as he shows in the first scene when they were talking about being bros in the street. But he pulls it on him again, and then just out of the background, Lynn, bam, shotgun.
Yeah.
It just felt like it's one of those. I've never had a moment like Lynn with the shotgun the first time was one of the moments where I've been like, yeah, this makes sense. And I swear, most of the time, Lynn, every time they give her something to do, I'm like, well, I feel like for this scene, they just handed you a shotgun and said, go make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
It just does not feel earned at all.
Yeah, I can see that.
She spent all that time. I mean, I love the fact that it was a shotgun, at least. It was a callback. I appreciate that. I love the fact that she's been working on some variation of green light the whole time to basically do the reverse. Great callback. But
well, importantly, it wasn't that she was necessarily saving Jefferson because he could have overcome it, I assume, in time.
Well, that's the problem. Is like I don't know if he could have won that fight in time. So I get that they needed some kind of mechanism to come in and make that happen in time.
Well, plus she just had to whether he killed Jefferson or not, she had to depower him, and he was distracted long enough for her to do it.
Look, as far as the logistics of the scene, mm-hmm. I get it, and they make sense. For me, it cracked me up, being that I've been so disappointed with Lynn's character this long, mm-hmm. that the first time I see her again really makes sense in a scene. It's like, bam, shotgun.
Yeah, I see it. I get you. It makes sense. So I'm hoping this ASA storyline is for the most part over. I hate that Odell's not dead, because I feel like he deserves it. I really liked them going to the congressional hearing, and I really liked that Judge Isabella and Judge Von Eden were there. That, Tony Isabella and Trevor Von Eden, those were the creators of Black Lightning. That's awesome. And I liked that Gravedigger was, the random dude in the audience, that he was just sort of like, okay, maybe they did it their way and it was a good thing. And, I look forward to seeing Wayne Brady again.
I'm not sure where we're going to end with that, but I kind of like both possibilities. Like, he teamed with the ASA, and in his mind, what he was doing worked.
Mm-hmm.
If what he's trying to do, if he never learned anything from this season and he just came back and tried to do it with, say, Tobias or somebody,
mm-hmm.
hell yeah, that sounds fantastic. If instead he learned from it and we're going to get, step uncle or granduncle or whatever the hell he's called.
Right.
I think granduncle? Great uncle. Great uncle?
Great uncle, probably great uncle, something like that. But
yeah.
Only other thing I really got to talk about is Lala and Lady Eve. And I still don't know what the hell is happening, except I love their little power struggle. I do
love the power struggle. I still have no idea where that's leading. So Lady Eve, another one I enjoy her presence. I just don't know what the fuck's going on with it right now.
I'm perpetually made uncomfortable watching this show with my wife because of her cleavage.
I get it. I'm perpetually made uncomfortable anytime I see Lady Eve because I cannot get the image of her just staring down a person and having a conversation while she plunges what looks like a liposuction stick into a currently dead body.
Mm-hmm.
Like mechanistically, like this was her art and she didn't have to think about it anymore, kind of thing.
Right.
That was a striking image.
I hope for Lala's sake he starts sending, his like one or two gay henchmen over to freaking Lady Eve's House of Hookers from now on. Just stop letting her extract information from these guys with women. Yeah. just stop.
Surely
doesn't make any sense. Oh, seems like a good idea. I love. I'm so happy Lala's not dead, or not. Final to dead.
Yeah, he really did grow on me. By season 2, I was pretty hooked. Season 1, I could have gone either way. He had some fun moments.
Lala is definitely a character I want to see get a redemption arc.
Yes,
and we got a step closer with his Bill Henderson head nod in the street. But
we did. No, I mean that apparently is his priority. He's going to protect Freeland outright.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But with the ASA off the table, with Markovia off the table, Odell doing something maybe, but he may not be involved. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Jeffersons in general. We got the Pierce family. They have a current trajectory. It's really the villains that we don't know about.
Yeah,
we don't know what the hell Tobias is up to. Mm-hmm. Lala's a wild card, and Gravedigger's just running out there changing shape.
Right. Oh yeah, Gamby. We didn't say anything about
Oh,
Gamby
yeah,
or
Gamby.
TC. I love TC, by the way. TC's great. Great
He's fun.
addition. I hope he sticks around. I really like his character.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're gonna basically get like a new bunker. I can't imagine them staying in that blowed up shithole.
I mean, they kind of.
They could, I guess, but you know, the ASA
been a bit
really
exposed.
Yeah.
We're talking about Gamby here, a guy who had a death plan for a van he was driving in one time.
Mm-hmm. And is still technically dead.
Yeah. I don't think they're going back to the tailor shop.
Yeah, I mean, they blowed it up.
Speaking of, a weird moment that I enjoyed, him talking about like when I was going through what you're going through right now, I went to tailoring and the sewing and all that. It gave me peace of mind, and he just gives Khalil the notepad and just says, I hear you're an artist at some point.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of true.
Yeah.
Got somebody through, honest to God, like some kind of creative outlet. If you have any instinct like that for PTSD, it actually does help.
Yeah. I just love Gamby. I feel like they did a lot of his character work last year.
Yeah, now he's kind of in a supportive role.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to seeing more from him later. I really like the way he seems to be taking in TC as sort of a Black Lightning 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
It's like still feels like he's still repenting for his sins in his youth. But
yeah,
I love Gamby. He's one of my favorites on the show.
He's good.
So
and yeah, Gamby's one of those people that to borrow the phrase, he's got red in his ledger.
Mm-hmm.
He's not done making that right yet.
Yep.
He'll be around for a while.
Oh man, how much would you love to see a spinoff series with Gamby and Alfred Pennyworth?
So much. So much. Like Gamby and Alfred, like the Pertwee Alfred.
Yes.
Oh, they would fuck some cunts up, no doubt.
Oh, that's not okay. Why'd you have to say it like that?
I've been listening to too many Australians recently.
Like, do you know what a kipper is? I do, actually. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
And then they just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where one of them is trying to bait down a rifle, and then halfway through the other one just grabs it and finishes breaking it down. The other one grabs it and builds it back again. The other one like throws in the last part, the last second. The whole thing takes 28 seconds, and they just laugh about it afterward.
And then they kiss.
Yeah, naturally. And then they go into the Batcave that we never got to see.
That's right. And Pertwee says, "I'm attracted to hearts." All right, I'm done.
And then Pertwee becomes a dog soldier.
This might have been my favorite season so far of Black Lightning. How do you feel?
I really did enjoy it, especially the second half.
Yeah, second half made it. I think it was a little slow going at first. 16 episodes still seems a little too long for this show. But then you get to the last episode and somehow it felt rushed. I don't know what to do with that.
No,
but,
16's it feels about right. It's just that there were the Khalil and the Lynn storylines that I didn't love, and then other than that, I really enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, I think I could do without
especially
Markovia.
Lynn still being addicted after all of this.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
I think I could deal without. I forgot about that. That's so annoying.
Still, like we're gonna have to do with that next season. That is the thing I'm looking forward to least.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that hard. Ugh.
There's basically nothing on the table. If you told me next season of Black Lightning is premieres tomorrow, that I wouldn't be like, yeah, it sounds great. Let's. I'm in. I'm gonna hate the CW app commercials like I always do, but let's do this. And then that would be the one part I was like, oh, fucking, what are they gonna do with the goddamn green light again?
Oh man, what? Okay, one of my biggest joys of the season was when he comes back from Crisis and he's talking. Like the first thing he does is he gets on the comm with Gamby. He's like, "Gamby, dude, Superman's real."
All right, that was pretty good.
And I love their like truth sequence at the table where everyone's kind of like spilling the beans.
Yes,
and he's like, "Hey, so it turns out there are like an infinite number of universes, and I helped save them." I don't know.
They're like, "You're always gonna top us with that, right?" Yeah. Damn right.
Yeah. What else you got, man? You got anything else?
Nope. Let's bounce.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you are interested, I have a new Patreon episode up. It is a review of the Batman: The Adventures Continue comic, issue 1. And yeah, that's $5. $5 a month is what gets you that. And or just $5 one time, because you can always cancel. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, if you just want to hear that episode or just binge whatever, I don't know. Mm-hmm. You do you. Appreciate it either way. And DCOnScreen.com for every episode. Thank you so much for listening. And let us know what you thought of the Black Lightning season 3 and the finale. And let us know what Dave Matthews song Black Lightning makes you think of. Mm-hmm. Until next time.
Which one annoys you the most?
Until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Bye. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a Maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.